played this morning for the cops about how they're supposed to work together with APS. These are the agencies we're sent to. APS sends us to the cops send us to APS. It's nobody's job. Stupid. Ugh.
I always open the wrong side.
It's the tiniest print on that card. I can't read it. Okay.
It's so hard, like you type in solid and
Hi, Sean. She hasn't come out yet.
All right.
Did you have a question?
Yeah. When I try to turn this into the police blow me off. They tell me I'm supposed to go to mental health for advocacy. I go to the mental health places and they tell me to the police.
Mm-hmm.
The police tell me to go to the mental health agencies. All of these places are getting paid.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I repeatedly sent to places for them to tell me that it's not their job?
I have no idea, Sean. I can't answer that question.
Well, the thing is that the police need to stop telling me that it's these other places' jobs if these other places are going to say that it's not their jobs.
Right.
Meanwhile, they're all supposed to be mandated reporters, and the law is very clear on what they're supposed to do as mandated reporters, especially doctors, mental health specialists, and none of them are doing that. I'm telling them about the abuse that I'm enduring, and they're rescheduling me for more appointments later on where they tell me they still can't do anything. I mean, this is not the first place that I was sent to. The first places that I was sent to was CARE and Tillamook Family Counseling Center and Tides of Change, and I went around to all the appointments, and I went to the churches they told me to go to. I called all the places that they told me to go to, and everybody says it's not their job. Meanwhile, they're all mandated reporters.
Right.
Even the workers at the churches, and I did look that up.
Well, you'll be getting some mental health services here, so you'll be having your counseling appointments here, so at least we can work with that part.
Well, the problem is that isn't the part that I need.
Right.
The part that I need is a resolution to a very real issue. Instead of eating up my time jumping around going to places for counseling, these are still mental health professionals that I was sent to for a very specific job that they don't do. So why am I repeatedly back? Because if I don't come back, then I get told that I'm not trying to get help. I'm literally coming here for advocacy over abuse.
Right.
Being rescheduled for health
So you're
appointment
saying
after health.
by coming here and letting them know that you've done counseling appointments, then they can help you in other services?
I was specifically sent to this service for the same reason I was sent to Tillamook Family Counseling Center. It's because the job is supposed to be done so that it's not just police, alone in a room with us. There's supposed to be a friend or family member helping us, and if we don't have that,
And
we're
we have
sent to
some
mental
here.
health, and mental health is supposed to provide that advocacy.
Mhm.
Mental health is not providing that advocacy, even though the law says they're supposed to. What they're doing is scheduling me and rescheduling me for more therapy appointments.
Right.
That's not why I'm being sent to these places. That's not why I was sent to you guys or to Tillamook Family Counseling Center. Now, the thing is, you guys can explain to the police that that's not your job, and that is something that needs to be done, obviously, with the number of people that I have recorded on the homeless circuit that are being told the same things as me. If I'm being told this stuff, I can easily believe that these other homeless people are being told the things they're telling me.
Yeah, it's a difficulty with services. There just isn't always enough.
There isn't any. We have a lot of different services. There's over 40 people in Tillamook that I've spoken with that their paychecks depend on this. And all of them tell me that there's not enough services. Well, of course there isn't. When you're paying 40 people not to do their jobs, their jobs as a mandated reporter, that's the most important job of any social worker, any caseworker, doctor, anybody in any of those situations. I'm a disabled adult in an at-risk situation.
Right.
And,
Do you live alone or do you live with someone?
I'm homeless. I live in a vehicle now. That's part of the reason that I'm so easy to target, and part of the reason that I'm targeted so often.
Right.
It also eats up a lot of my money because I have to live in a car and I have to save all of the evidence of the abuse I'm going through. I have to record every situation. I have to record the witnesses. And the thing is that law enforcement doesn't do their job. They don't talk to the witnesses. They don't collect evidence. I'm sent to APS. APS is supposed to do that job as well. They're supposed to work together with the police. Instead, one of them sends me to the other one sends me back. Both of them know that they're doing wrong, and both of them are still doing it. The fact that I have it recorded shows somebody needs to step in, and that's why I'm sent to mental health.
Right.
Mental health is who, by law, I'm sent to because I don't have friends or family members. Instead of putting me in therapy, they're supposed to be mandated reporters. That's the only reason I come to any of these appointments, because all of these doctors, Mel Boggs and Esther and all these other folks, are supposed to be mandated reporters. The reason that I went to the hospital to try to turn in crimes that were committed against me is because they're supposed to be mandated reporters. They're supposed to call a social worker right away. They didn't call a social worker in any of these situations. Now, this situation here in Oregon has happened in Hood River and the Dalles, Oregon, and it's happening here. And it gets to the point where I'm victimized and can't go places because of people's bias against the homeless, their bias against the disabled. And of course, because I'm homeless, I must be on drugs and mentally ill. And people always use that as an insult. I haven't been diagnosed as mentally ill. I've been diagnosed as having Tourette's syndrome, and I've been diagnosed as having Asperger's. Well, it's high functioning autism now. But high functioning doesn't mean that I don't still need assistance and don't still need help.
No, that's true.
Now, for over 2 months, I've been being sent to here, and almost 6 months I've been being sent to TFCC, and almost 6 months I've been being sent to care. And, I eventually just stopped going to those places because they're supposed to, like I said, they're supposed to call a social worker, and they're supposed to work together to get this done, instead of everybody playing stupid and nobody talking to each other.
Well, but at least you have appointments here and you are coming to appointments here. So that's appreciated because then we can try and help in ways. So that's the most important thing that we can provide, is having you come in and see us like you're doing now.
But I'm coming to see you guys as men. That's the reason that I came to see Danelle Boggs. That's the reason that I came to. That's the reason that I set up multiple appointments, and it's one of the things that keeps me trapped in this area. I'm stuck here until somebody does their job as a mandated reporter. I've got all the evidence in the world out in my vehicle. I've been trying to show it, but I come to the appointments and it's people talking me out of them doing their jobs as mandated reporters. I'm overwhelmed.
Right.
And then I've got a lot of drug addicts that, you know, when you're homeless, you have to deal with them. They'll come knock on your door at 2 o'clock in the morning if they know you're staying in it.
Yeah.
And then they want to keep you up all night. And then there's people and their hatred for the homeless. I've already had people start crap with me at the library. I've been assaulted on more than one occasion. And I mean, I haven't been able to turn in any of the assaults against me seriously because I have to talk to police officers who didn't do their job because there was no civilian oversight, no friend or family member, and none of these mental health agencies that I'm being sent to. Why am I being sent to mental health agencies to help turn this in if mental health agencies are all going to say it's not their job to be mandated reporters?
I don't know, Sean. You can't answer the question.
It's a big question. It's complicated.
It is. You're in a difficult situation.
I don't do drugs, but I'm stuck with drug addicts. I don't get the assistance that I'm supposed to have by law because I'm smart. But then I'm denied my rights as a human being because I had disabilities. And meanwhile, I have to deal with people like police officers that I tried to turn in, trying to claim to hospitals that I was schizophrenic, and the hospitals just wrote it down. I'm like, that's not legal. You know, you have to have 6 months to diagnose somebody as schizophrenic. And when somebody has evidence, it's not like I'm walking in there and saying, oh, well, there's aliens that put a butt probe in me and now we're trying to take over the world with, you know, some sort of grays and blues.
Right.
The lizard aliens and the grays and the...
I'm glad that's not something you have to deal with. That.
I deal with a lot of those people, and a lot of them it's drug induced.
Did it help?
Yes.
All right. Is you need for drawing?
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
So I'm dealing with a lot of people who have drug-induced psychosis out here. I don't do drugs, but I'm stuck being in a situation where if I'm not the most giving person I can be, then I might have to deal with volatility, screaming, and possibility of people puncturing my tires or breaking my windows.
Right.
Plus, it's pretty obvious, you know, it only showed 2 of the restricted calls, but the little 17 over on the side was because there was 17 other restricted calls from that number. That was just from today.
Well, hopefully with this new phone, that will help get rid of some of those calls for you.
Also it doesn't help me to be safe in my situation. I'm still in a genuinely
it's at
unsafe
least something.
situation.
It's at least something that'll help a little bit, so. Right, so because you could use some help with your new phone, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So if you want to wait, Sean's just gonna bring that right out, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Sean? Surrender, okay?
Never give up, never surrender. I always liked it better when you said, oh.
Insurance website, the insurance,
We'll be right there. I'll be right there.